Welcome back to the Versatile PC Chat. Today we're going to be talking about CPU and GPU cooling in general. Talk about just cooling. Start with CPU cooling. What do you need in terms of CPU cooling? Do you need an air cooler or water cooler, like an AIO or custom water loop? Most times, most gamers can get away with using air coolers for budget builds, AIO for more enthusiasts, and kind of useful, kind of not as useful as they used to be, but custom water looping is good. The reason I personally don't want custom water loop, I would love to do it, but I do swap my components around a lot. So for me, custom water looping isn't really an option because once you basically built the custom water loop, you got to either drain it out and buy new water blocks for each component when you go to swap new parts in, and then you have to refill the loop, redo everything. With AIOs, all you got to do is just unbolt it, and it all stays as one. I can just swap in a new CPU and be good. So let's talk about air cooling for budget gamers. Not just for budget, even for high-end games too. You can high-end CPU. You can also get away with some air coolers. This is the Hyper 212, which we use a lot, mainly because they're available everywhere. So if anybody needs one, like these, I don't even know what this brand is. I don't even know what this is. It just came on a PC. But you might not be able to buy those in your region. But these Hyper 212s are generally available everywhere, and they work pretty well for CPU cooling. You have AIOs, which you have a couple different options. You have 120s, which aren't really useful for buying. They don't hold enough thermal capacity over an air cooler, so I would skip those. But 240 AIOs, which is these about this size, 240 AIOs, which is more common, probably the most common size, but becoming more common because cases are getting a lot bigger, or people are preferring the bigger cases, are 360 AIOs. I think it's even up to 420 millimeter AIOs for the rad. There's one thing you gotta worry about with AIOs, and even these, even for air coolers, is you have to worry about the size of them in order to fit in your case. That's the main thing you worry about. But 240 AIOs most of the time have enough thermal capacity to hold all the CPU overclocking. We can talk quick about GPU cooling as well. Most GPUs come with air cooled with two fan, 3 fan, or 1 fan. They have a big heat sink right here with the fin stack. They do make custom water looped cards. They have an extra radiator on them with fans. For me, those are generally they're generally very expensive, and the air cooler on most graphics cards works just fine. Unless you live in maybe a super hot region. So that's where, air cooling your card is perfectly fine. It generally just performs the same, especially if you want to overspec your card is by buying an AIO card. Now, if you want enthusiast level, go crazy, do whatever you want if you're trying to go over the top with it. But yeah, so what's right for you? So if you're running a lot of Radeon, or not Radeon, if you're running a lot of Ryzen CPU, they're pretty low wattage anyway, even with PBO enabled. But you can get away with some air coolers. The good thing about air coolers is they don't go bad. The only thing that could maybe go bad is the fan. Usually quick buy a cheap fan, a couple bucks, swap the new fan on. Your problem with AIOs, some pluses and minuses to AIOs is, one, they have a lifespan, so that's a negative to them. They have a lifespan about 5 to 7 years, depending on the model. There's a lot more failure points when it comes to AIOs. There is the pump that could fail. There's the fans, obviously, that could fail, just like on an air cooler. It could leak. It could develop a hole in it via the pressure or whatever, and it could leak. The RGB lights could go out, whatever could happen. So that's another thing you gotta be cautious of. And so yeah, I think, is it something I'm able to or willing to do is put liquid into my computer, and it shouldn't hurt anything if it does have a spring leak. It could, I mean, it's potential. If you're playing it on the safer side, I would go air cooler. If you're more enthusiast level, I would go AIO. If you're super enthusiast, maybe go water loop. If you're never going to plan on really changing anything in the PC, because when you have to change stuff in an AI or a custom water loop PC, you guys would usually drain it and then do all the other work. And I personally don't like to do that, or don't want to do that, in order to swap my components around. But yeah. So leave in the sign off in the comments below about what are you into? Are you prefer air cooler? Are you more an AIO person? Do you have an air cooler? You want to try AIOs? Or if you are somebody who helps people build a lot of PCs, like spec them out or just build them in general for them, have you started pointing people more towards air coolers or more toward AIOs? For me personally, I've been starting to point people more toward the air cooling, especially when it comes to the lower wattage CPUs, is because it's less to worry about. They're easier, they're easy to get, they're easier to buy, they're cheaper. Most people see $200 for a cooler and they're like, what the heck? But you spend 30 bucks, 40 bucks and they're a little more acceptable for that. If you enjoyed this video, I know it was kind of all over the place because I'm trying to shoot a lot of videos right now, all in the same time frame, and I'm trying to rush through them a little bit because it's running late. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment anything you want to see in the future, and consider hitting the subscribe button.